Hey friends, how you doing? Extra day off here. We're working on the wood hauler. I gotta get these brake lines off. I've been fighting with these brake lines for a week. I don't want to cut them. I want to keep them intact wherever possible so that when I rebuild them, I'm gonna make my own. Uh, there's like 5 lines I need. I can do that, no problem. I'm gonna take the brake lines off and try and rebuild them wherever possible. I can't splice any lines in here. These lines are so rotten that it's not even worth it. I've been down this GM road. You Chevy drivers that live in the north, you guys know what I'm talking about. You splice in one line and then it breaks a foot behind it a week later or a month later and you're stranded on the side of the road. So we're not playing that game. We're taking them all out. I'm going all new brake lines from one end to the other, new hoses, calipers. So I'll jump in and out and show you guys what I'm doing as I get to it. Okay, I'm starting at the back. This is the main line that goes all the way to the front. I'm not sure you guys can see the fuel tank. It runs all the way along up in there. I don't know if you guys can see. It runs all the way down there. Okay, and it's clipped in place. All I've been using is MAP gas and just heat it up, which will swell the outer line from the hose and get this off. I'm replacing this hose too. It's cracked, but this one came loose. We got it loose. It's moving, and we'll just do it one line at a time. This wheel seal's leaking. You see that right there? Or wheel cylinder. A lot of rust in here. So these shoes are fine. Again, guys, this is just a farm truck. I'm not commuting in this or anything. It won't go farther than 10 miles from my property, probably really ever. So we want to make it safe though, right? I'm going to be hauling lots of weight, but we're going to take this all apart. We're going to replace the lines on the rear end, everything. Why not? It's cheap and brakes are good, aren't they? Nothing's worse than, whoa, Nelly, she won't stop. That's not a good feeling. Okay, so we got this brake line free, and I'll hit you guys back up when I get more to report. Wish me luck. It's 20 minutes later. We're working on the back of this wheel cylinder. It has a line going into it. For those of you that haven't worked on drum brakes, this is getting to be old world technology. Maybe that means I'm getting old because this was standard equipment when I was a piecework mechanic. This line here, let's see if we can get, there we go. Okay, this line here screws into the back. Well, I can't get this nut off, it's seized. So I'm going to try and take both of these nuts, these bolts off the back here. Okay, that's what holds your wheel cylinder on. I'm going to try and remove those, and then if I can get those to budge with a persuader, this is probably the right size. I'll have to check the specs. Persuader and a wrench. If this comes loose, then I'll just cut that line, and that way we know. We're replacing this anyways, because like I said, see that leak? Eventually it'll just leak out, it'll pop the seal, and you'll have a brake drum that's full of nastiness. And again, on these you have to pull the axles, so you don't want to pull the brake drum unless you're that kind of feller. Those bolts down yonder in here, wow, I had to get real creative. You can see how seized that is. I think Chevrolet was a Spanish word or something for rotten brake lines. I'm not sure. Leave a comment if you know. Okay, I'm trying to save this line just because if I can make the exact lines on the bench, that'll save me oodles and oodles of time. So these are going to be the worst ones. Because of that good leak that we have in the oil lines and probably a rear main leak, she's naturally undercoated forward, and as we get farther back, she's got that nice coat of rust on her. So I like a slight rear main leak. It keeps the truck well lubricated underneath. I'm going to keep fighting with that. I'm going to apply heat and use my universal line wrench and get it off. Okay friends, well, I ended up cutting both ends off with a power hacksaw. I have one of those little air hacksaws. They fit in tight places. I got this line off nicely, but yeah, they just clip to the rear diff. Here, I'll show you guys here. See, there's clips like this. You just unclip them. It's bolted here to this mount. And away you go. Now I'm just going to keep working my way forward and get this line off. It goes all the way that way. Okay, I'm going to get it off from the other side. I'll show you guys. However, if you own a GM in the snow belt, you're probably going to have to do this at one time or another. Them are the brakes. Brakes. One of these lines, I traced it back. Sorry, friends. I thought it was this one. Okay, it's broken down there by the firewall where it goes under. There's a leak there, and basically I'm taking all these lines out. This master cylinder, I have a brand new one. I'm taking the master cylinder out, and I'm just going to redo all the brake lines. These should come out no problem. A little bit of heat and just work them back and forth. And yeah, I might as well. Honestly, it takes longer to splice lines together and try and flare on the vehicle than it does to just replace everything generally. And I mean, if they're that rusty, you're usually not going to get a good flare. And even if you do, there's my immobilizer. I'm taking that out. Those are ridiculous. The cause of more gray hair on this guy's head, I had a Chevy with a bad immobilizer, and let me tell you, a lot of problems. Anyhow, one line at a time, I'm going to replace this. The one that goes across to the other side, I'm going to take that off when I do the oil cooler lines. I'm probably going to have to take that off from the bottom. Still don't have the oiler cooler lines off. They're down in there. I had to get a different socket so I could take the oil filter mount off. Again, two seemingly little things turn into hours and hours and hours of work, but it's worth it because when I'm done, I'm gonna have a good, reliable, knock on wood, reliable truck. I'll hit you guys back up when I got more of these lines apart. Friends, we're now, as you can see, underneath the vehicle, right here. See all this fluid here? Okay, that's my brake line leak. What happens, in their wisdom, they put these clips on here. You see that clip? That's where all the corrosion starts, and they just rot out. So if I can, which I'm not saying I'm going to be able to, because those clips are, there you go, those clips are bolted to the frame. See that? If I can't get these bolts out of here, and they're bolted every so often, and of course the piece that rots, which is always the brake line, is on the inside. There you go, on the inside here. And these are your fuel lines, your feed and return line. There's your lift pump. Probably will have to do that at some point, but let's keep going underneath here. You guys like to see stuff? Okay, and that's the other end of that line right there. Easy to get at. Just in between there and here, am I going to be able to get this out in one piece and pull it out? We're in for a little bit of a battle. And like I said, of course, they're clipped on the inside, and this is the one you always have to change these. So we'll play it by ear. Okay, let me get the torch out here. Now I want to heat this without smoking all this loom and wiring that's here. Of course, they got to put it right next to a brake union because, again, gonna make stuff hard to work on. Hanging out underneath my new wood hauler. I love this stuff, guys. Making something good again is what life's all about. All I got to do is get one side of this free, whatever side it may be, without lighting my truck on fire. So, this is good stuff. Hey guys, you know why I don't use a two-wheeler? because I exceed the GVW on them cheap wheels they put on those things. Oh, yes. Yes. Winning. Thank you, brake line gods. Okay. Again, without burning all of our wiring that goes into the cab, preferably. Stuff like this, okay, yeah, we're good. You gotta be so careful with stuff like this. If you're a wrench puller and you do stuff like this, I'm sure you've set a car or two on fire. Usually you can put it out right away. You got stuff around. Also, if you guys are doing this, be very careful. If you get this thing red hot, remember, when you're working underneath the brake line, always safety squint, because that brake line is full of brake fluid, and when you heat it up, it comes out super hot. Many a scald I've had from doing this kind of stuff. I prefer to not get these red hot whenever possible, because you never know where the fluid's coming out. And again, always safety squint. That way it won't get in your eyes, because a fully opened eye will not close faster than red hot brake fluid. But if you safety squint, you're in. And that's a scientific fact. I saw it on one of them fancy scientific shows. So, okay, you guys see the deal here. We are winning. Gotta get it. This one, again, I gotta unclip the lines without breaking it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to film that. Oh, this is tough going up here. Okay. I think I might have to unclip all of the fuel lines one at a time. And then, unclip the brake lines. I think is going to be the deal here. Okay, I got the rear brake line out. It absolutely crumbled. I'll show you guys that in a bit. There was about 4 feet of line that the minute I even pulled or tried to manipulate it, it just crumbled and a whole section fell out. So the nice thing is we have the ends, precision. We're landing a spaceship here, folks. Anyhow, there's 3 lines here. This is the one that we just took that union off of to go to the rear brake line, and these 2. This one's leaking like crazy. I'm just going to replace all of them. Took my anti-lock brake sensor off right here. Okay, I'm going to undo this union. I'm probably going to replace this line, but I want to get this line and this line and this line out in one piece from up here. I'm not sure which lines are which, but I'm going to do my best. Sorry, friends. I'm going to do my best to kind of dissect this piece by piece and see if I can just take them off in one assembly, because these ones are really, really tight bends and stuff, so I want to be able to remake them. Okay. You guys have never done this before. If you try and remove any of these lines, you'll break the brake line. They're always seized. So a little bit of heat and usually they'll break free. The front hoses are actually in good shape. They look like they've been replaced. If I can save them, I will. Again, this is how old is this truck? It's a 96. So this truck's old. And we're not making her a show girl. We just want to make her start and stop and not leak all of her oil all over the ground. Okay, just apply a little bit of heat. Grab your line wrench. If it doesn't go, don't force it. If I had a nickel for every time I've done this job, I've done many a GM brake line. I don't know if Fords are like this, I assume. In this climate, they just rot. It's a thing. Well, in this era vehicle. I know as they get newer, vehicles seem to not rust as bad up here. They're using different materials, I guess. We'll see though, time will tell. Okay. We're going to grab the universal wrench. Ooh. Yeah, this line's just twisting. It is seized solid, but we got the fitting off. So we're gonna end up cutting this fitting here. We're gonna heat this union now up here, making sure there's nothing flammable, and of course everything over top of that is flammable. They gotta keep us on our toes, right? I don't know. Oh, little spider web action. This one's crucial because if I don't get this fitting out of here, I'm going to have to replace all the lines. I'm probably going to end up doing it anyways, let's be honest. Nothing I hate worse than a ruptured brake line. Now you can't drive home and you have to do this job. So, that's not fun. I don't want to apply too much heat to this because there's a big wiring loom that's covered in good dirty diesel oil just over top of this, like 4 or 5 inches up. Okay. This is just like what we do when we put a bearing in, right? One side gets your, there you go. Oh, nice. Again, this line is completely seized, but the fitting came loose, so we're in business. Okay, I'm just gonna cut these fittings off, and because they're just gonna break the lines anyways. I'll hit you guys back. Okay, this one. Helps if you cut the side with teeth on it. And again, we knew that's going to leak. That's fine. Beauty. Okay, we're going to let this cool down. Have a little break. I'll put a drip pan under there and let it leak. Okay, I heated these up. Got them loose. See how that line's just spinning? It's just going to break, okay? Because it's seized in there. But whatever, as long as we got the fitting out. I got this one loose here. I'm just going to grab this rag because I'm sure it's going to make a huge mess. I feel like a little out of time. As I have time, I'll just work on this truck. And I feel like this is going to happen. Okay, there's one line off. Pull it back out of the way. Everything's pretty much dry at this point, except for when you don't use a draining apparatus, and then suddenly there's just gallons and gallons of brake fluid to leak out. That one's loose. Again, hard to get my big fingers in there. Okay. Oh, we're making progress here. Okay. Now this one. See if I can get my wrench on here. This one's going to be seized. I can just see the amount of scale on it. Yep, that one's seized. Okay, well, I'm probably gonna just, there we go. Oh, that one came loose, beauty. Well, if I can get this one off, I'll get down in there with the torch and see if I can heat up this bottom line here. These ones I need pretty precise because there's not a lot of room to get them off, or to for them not to be close. I'm probably just going to replace everything. This is going to leak. I sense it. I sense the brake fluid. Well, let's see. I think the rag will catch whatever's in there. I guess we'll find out. At least these came apart. Nice. Oh yeah, there's not much in there. Now this one's leaking. I obviously broke it. Sometimes they come loose, sometimes they don't. Yeah, this thing's probably just going to twist and break. It's already knocking my... Here, I'm just going to grab it with the vice grips. Vice grip is like, you know, one of the most handy tools. I know sometimes it's like you shouldn't use one, but in this case, yeah, this is just going to break. It's amazing how many times these brake lines will twist. Oh, I got it off. Nice. It's amazing how many times these brake lines will twist before they shatter. But in the back, they were so rotten. I literally touched it and 3 feet of line came off. There we go. I have a feeling. There we go. Beauty. Okay. Yeah, that's going to drip for a long, long time. Maybe I can stuff this rag in there. Maybe. If I turn my head the right way. Try and stuff that rag in there. There we go. That'll slow it down enough to do what I need to do. Okay. No, it's still dripping. Oh. I feel like there's one more clip. I feel like there's one more clip that's just going to fight us. This one here. Screwdriver. It's funny, you know what makes these rot? The clips. Every break in the rear fuel line coincided with the next clip. As funny as that sounds, it's true. Okay, well, if this doesn't want to come off right now, then I'm surprised that this thing's still leaking. How about this one? There we go. Usually if there's no rust on the end, they'll just come right off. There we go. Here's the one line. Again, it's handy to have them in one piece, because then when I go to remake them, I can, this one's going to fight me for sure. What are the chances? Then when I go to remake them, I kind of know the shapes I need. Well, we're probably going to have to cut this line. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it. I don't want to spend 19 hours trying to save a ½ inch of line that I know is going to be there. When I cut all these lines, I'm cutting them right at the fitting. There we go. There's our fitting. Beauty. Getting places with the Tin Man. That's going to be my new title of my latest album. Getting there with the Tin Man. Okay. wonder if we can pull these up through the top. I feel like I missed an important clip. Let's look down here and have. Okay. Well, we got one more clip that we're dealing with. It's clipped to the frame still, but at least now I can see right there. There's another clip. Okay. Am I gonna get this lucky? Here's the best part. If I can't even get these out through the top, how am I gonna get them back in? I'm just gonna go back under and feed it through. The problem is that people have been in and out of here over the years. Even the block heater cord. Google that if you're from a northern climate or from a southern climate. Even the block heater cord was wrapped through this, and come on, girl. Don't you want to live again? You want to run? You want to run down the highway with some Bob Seger playing? Oh yeah, this thing's gonna be wicked. I can't wait, friends. I really like this truck. It's a tool to do work. Okay. Why won't you come out? Why won't you play nice? Here. Oh, I see. It's hooked around all the wiring. It's the problem. They put all the wiring and all the brake lines in the same spot. And then I think they put the brake lines on the chassis, and then the wiring gets wrapped around and hooked to it, and it's just a mess. Right there, right in the middle. I'll point to it right there. That's our leak. So yeah, we had to do this no matter what. I'm happy. Woohoo! Thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate you. Later.